Hey V,
Hi, how are you?
good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me on.
Yes, welcome to the BENSBOSS podcast.
Hey.
You are my first Leo guest, as you should be. I love how that's like how we met was through June, our mutual friend,
Yes.
but we connected because we're like Leos just connect. We just get each other.
We do. I feel like we are the most complicated but yet simple sign. And
We really we're only complicated for ourselves though. I swear,
yes,
we make life so complicated
for
for
ourselves, yes. And make it
and so
super.
simple for everyone else.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm excited to have you on the show. You just hustle so hard, and I love your story.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's been definitely a journey. Um, I will not say it's easy because it's definitely hard. There
Yeah.
are plenty of days that I want to run for the hills, today being one of them, if I'm being transparent. But honestly, I think what keeps the balance for me is continuously seeing the bigger picture, because I feel like when you're in such a tunnel vision mode, you only see the goals that you're trying to obtain and achieve, and
Yeah.
you tend to lose focus on giving yourself the reward of saying, hey, good job, you accomplished that, like you did that, because you're just constantly going a million miles per minute. So I have learned to really take the saying where it says to stop and smell the roses, to literally stop and just
Yeah.
kind of look around and be like, wow, like I actually did that. So it's,
I'll have,
yeah, it's a great feeling, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of sacrifice.
you just made me realize I've had times where I'll look back and be like, holy crap, I did that. But I didn't even really like acknowledge it or
Yeah,
congratulate myself for it, reward myself for it.
yeah. Like I was
Because
telling my
it's
son
so
I was going to do this podcast with you, and he was like, "Oh my God, you're going to be on a podcast?" And he was like, "That is so cool, Mom." And he's like, "I'm so proud of you." So he was giving me like little pointers and stuff, and then he was asking me how I knew you, and he was like, "Dude, she's like an actual, like, you know, an influencer." I was like, yeah."
I'm not I wish. I wish.
And so, no, but we were sitting there talking about you, and he was like, "That's just so cool." And I said, "Well, you know, I've been watching her and her sister. She's a twin. I'm like, and I've been seeing her hustle and, like, you know, just how she's been achieving her goals and attaining these and manifesting things for her future and her present." And I said, "So it's pretty cool that she's acknowledging that in myself." I was like, because, like I was telling you, I really don't stop to say, like, good job. You know, it's like very far and few that I do that. So I'm
Yeah.
learning more, especially because, you know, in the past year and a half, I've lost a lot of loved ones. So I'm learning that because life is so short, we have to do a lot of self love and a lot of self validation. Because I think that when the pandemic happened, that somehow like erased that part in so many of our mentals, that we forgot to really embrace the self validation and self love aspect of just loving yourself, right? So that's kind of the path that I'm on, and I'm constantly being reminded to just say, hey, like, good job, you know?
Yeah, that's good. I think a lot of us need to learn how to do that. And I did want to say I've also noticed not really like a shift in your hustle because it's still the same and you're still following your dreams and doing your passions. But ever since, I mean, you went through the pandemic as we all did, but then you also, like you said, have lost really close people
Yeah.
to you. And I noticed like you're like, okay, now I'm doing this for them.
Yeah.
Like this is for them. Like I'm going to work even harder than I was already working.
Yeah, I mean, like you know, it took me about a year, almost a year and a half to kind of bounce back from all of that, because it started with my sister, then two of my best friends, my ex-boyfriend's mom, and then three or four other friends in between that were close. So it was like a total of 9 people that I lost in 13, 14 months.
Yeah.
But with the four that I lost initially in a 7 month time span, my sister, my two best friends, and my ex boyfriend's mom, they were the like really the core of my support system. And they're the ones that whenever I was super down, they would text me like, "Hey, I'm proud of you. Like, good job. Keep going." So I feel like for me to be able to honor them and, and honor their legacies is to really bust my butt more than I ever have. Like I tell people all the time, I worked last year, but this year I'm grinding, and it's just two totally different things. But it's been difficult, but at the same time, I feel their presence saying, "Hey, you can do it." So that's what I'm doing. So I'm able to accomplish so many things at one time, but it's been a blessing. Like I have the restaurant where we're starting the renovations on that, and we should be open by the spring of 2023. Yeah, super excited. And then I have, yes, I will definitely let you and your sister know. And then I have, let's see, I have the collective that I started out here in Vegas. It's called the Pin Drop. It's started off as myself, and now there's 25 businesses, I believe, 25 small businesses. So that's been super exciting. We have an event coming up this Friday where we have local performers, artists, small businesses come out and just,
Like a marketing group, like you guys, not marketing,
yeah,
networking, like you guys all.
networking. And then we also have, like a part of our collective members, we're all small businesses. So whoever has products, they sell products, they come out and they're able to display and market and kind of network within the communities. Because you were living here, so you know that Vegas has a lot of people think of Vegas and they just think of the strip. And they don't know the culture of Vegas and the community of Vegas. And if you're really in it, it's a beautiful feeling, and just to be surrounded by all of that. And I think there was so much disconnect again with the pandemic. So I
Yes.
wanted to be able to share my platform with others and to be able to bring people together to showcase and display like, hey, we're small businesses, and most of us smoke weed. I smoke. And then, to also break the stigma of, using the cannabis, to medicate from the plant and stuff like that. And just to be able to empower people, because a lot of people from our collective are patients.
Okay.
So, it's patient to patient, and it's a lot of educating and empowering. And it's not just, not just what people think you just smoke and get high. You have
Yes.
people that have MS and, sclerosis and all kinds of stuff in the collective. So it's pretty cool. The feedback has been amazing from the community overall. So I'm pretty excited. There's a lot of, younger performers, that just want the ears and the eyes on them. So just happy to be able to give them that. So
I love how you added that to, because with your business, Something's Cooking,
yeah.
you can do catering, you do the private
Yeah, so
chef.
I'm one of the top personal chefs here in Vegas. Yeah, I do catering, and then I'm also one of the top cannabis chefs out here. So I do a lot of infusing of foods and a lot of private dinners. So that's kind of how I came about doing the canna community, because of, with everything that happened, it got really lonely and depressing. So I needed to I needed a different journey. I needed a purpose. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of how all of this came about. And like I have met the most amazing people in the past 6-7 months, that have helped lift me up in so many different ways. So it's just it's just literally a group of people that have so much love and just want to see each individual succeed. And we try to help each other out in that, on that journey. So it's pretty awesome.
I like to, and I wonder what sorts of things you hear from people, because I'm not against weed, but I've just never been a big smoker. And I've always thought, like, when you infuse something, it was like brownies or cookies and that's it. You're literally infusing like everything.
Yeah. So that's been the beauty of it, is that I think when, again, the pandemic, because we were all at home, and I think, because mental health has been on the rise since. And I think because there were so many chefs that were at home and, you know, they probably were smoking weed just like I was and was just like, dude, like, what if we make some eggs? Or like, what if we make some steak? So I think the idea of infusing savory is literally about to explode because when you, like you said, when you think about infusing, you only think about sweets. And a lot of patients can't have those kind of things. So they have to medicate. So they have to medicate different ways. So that's the beauty of it because you can do teas, you can make sauces, you can make oils, butters. I mean, you can medicate without the hallucinogenic aspect of it where people feel like they're high, right? Some people, instead of taking painkillers, they would rather medicate. So they ingest it so they get the relief from their body. But it doesn't
Okay.
necessarily give you like a head high, you know?
I also didn't know that.
Yeah. So I mean, there,
Yeah.
there's so many medicinal benefits and, you know, you get from the plant overall. And that's the other reason that I started to, because when my sister had cancer, she wasn't eating, you know, so it was like different. It was like, how do you get someone that's going through chemo, that's constantly throwing up and is afraid to eat because they feel like that's going to come right back up? How do you get them to eat? You put a little bit of THC in their food or CBD to help them ingest, hold it down. It's a beautiful way to medicate, you know, but it's just also it's about educating people because I mean the stigma around it has been it's been called the gateway drug for so long. So
In the 10 minutes we've been talking, I've already learned more about it than I've known. So it really is like, I'm like, oh shit, that's really cool.
yeah, I mean, like a couple of our patients, one of our members, Jason, he has like this amazing CBD line for skincare, and I mean, they do amazing. They have amazing stuff. Like I use one of my friends. She does this amazing pain balm that I have. You know, I had my injury last year with my knees, so her pain balm when my knees are like really bad, that's what I use instead of popping a pill. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather rub something on my knee and be done.
I would like to jump back to Something's Cooking because that is your baby, right?
That is my baby.
Yeah, you started. Wait, first of all, let's jump back again because I forgot. I'm totally curious how you went from TV and film
to culinary.
Yes.
So, okay. I actually went to Le Cordon Bleu back in 2000. I think it was 2002, either 2000 or 2002, one of the two. And when I graduated from school, I was working in catering industry.
Okay.
But at that time, there wasn't many women chefs, let alone women in the kitchen. So I really got sick of the like smug remarks in the kitchen, the eye rolling when a girl would walk in, or oh, can you pick up that potato sack? I will throw you over my shoulder. So I just got sick of the catty and just the cattiness and just honestly the blatant disrespect of being a woman in the kitchen. So I was so turned off by it because in culinary school, they don't tell you that. You know what I'm saying? They don't tell you that when you come out of culinary school that you're not going to be respected as a chef, that that you're going to get looked down on or talked down on. So I kind of shunned away from it. And I went back into the TV and film industry, which I was in for almost 20 years before I moved here. And then when I moved here, I knew I could always fall back on cooking. So I would used to go around to small businesses like hair salons or whatever and go sell lunches. That's how I started. Yeah, I started. I started selling box lunches. I would go to Big Five and stuff like that. And then one day I got a phone call from a friend who's a celebrity bodyguard. And he said, hey, I have clients coming in town. They want to do a barbecue. Can you cater? I said, okay, but I didn't know anybody out here. And I gave him the stupidest price per person. I think I charged him like almost $100 something per person. It was so stupid. Like I would have never paid that price.
Did you get it?
Yeah. He was like, cool. was like, cool, I'll give you the cash when I see you on Saturday. And I was like, what? And I was like, did I seriously just make $10,000? Like, this is crazy. So I called Donna, may she rest in peace. And I called her and I was like, so since supposedly you and God had this conversation that I'm supposed to be a chef and I'm supposed to be in the kitchen, like, I just got this job, but I don't have anyone to help me. So I need you to come help me. She's like, are you serious? I was like, as a heart attack, like, you have to come help me. So she got on a plane, or either she was on a plane or a bus, I don't know, but she made it out here. We catered the barbecue. I took pictures of the food, posted them on Yelp. And then Yelp was like, where did you get the food from? And then unbeknownst to me, I created my business page inadvertently, and it was totally did not know. Like, about a couple weeks go by, and then I just start getting notifications from Yelp. And it was about, it was about catering. And I was like, what is going on here? So then I look, and then I was like, oh, I created a business page.
Now, like,
so I was like, okay, because Something's Cooking, I had used the same name in California when I would do catering out there, but it wasn't my full-time hustle and bustle, right? So yeah, that's how and then within a year, and I've been holding the title. I slipped a little last year because I didn't really work, but I have been holding the title of top personal chef out here for going on 6 years now. And then just from there, my clientele has been, my clientele is it's high end. So I'm very, appreciative of that. I work with a lot of celebrities, and it's just been through word of mouth, honestly. Like, I have some amazing clients.
Can you tell us the coolest person you've ever?
Coolest person.
Or maybe your favorite. I don't know.
My favorite would be Liz Stanton and her husband, Jake. She is an actress. You see her on WB a lot. I call her my baby. That's my baby. I would say kind of fan moment would be Wanye from Boys to Men. Like, he's super sweet. And whenever him and his wife, I love them. Whenever I go to cook over there, he's always serenading me. So it's like, seriously, like, you have one of the Boys to Men, like, just right there singing.
Making money.
Yeah, like, he'll just,
like, I'm getting paid for this.
Yeah, like, he just randomly comes down and just starts singing tunes, and it's just like, wow. I used to listen to you, and now I'm cooking for you.
So cool.
And then, he's best friends with Joe Coy, so I got to meet Joe Coy. He's super cool.
I saw that. He's so funny.
He honestly really is, and he's so laid back and cool. Who else? I've had a couple of basketball players that have been super sweet. Yeah.
You don't have to name any names, but do you have any, like, crazy horror stories?
Yes,
of, like, the work
I do. I won't name his name, but he was a basketball player. And I hate to say this because I'm a woman of color, but he was just very nasty. He was very nasty with women. Like, because of the position that he was in, he thought that he could treat women a certain way, especially women that were Caucasian, which really annoyed me to no end. And then one day he was just super nasty with me, and I went off and I was like, listen, little boy, you need to go back to that bench and warm it, and don't ever talk to me like that again. So yeah, that was the end of that right there. But yeah,
good for you. No, because some people would just take it because they think, it represents them in their business. But no, if you're being disrespected, it's a no. It's a no from me.
Yeah, absolute no. I mean, I just a couple of weeks ago, actually, this has never happened to me, actually. So I had a client, they had sent a deposit, and I was supposed to be on site at 5:30. So we get there a little bit early, and as their guest opens the door, they're like, oh, by the way, the kitchen's dirty. I was like,
the first thing?
Yeah, not even a hello. It was, oh, the kitchen's dirty. You're going to have to clean it. I was like, what? So we
I am
walk,
not a cleaning crew.
yeah. So we walk into the kitchen and it was so disgusting. Like on one plate they had like piled up bone, like wings of bones, like eaten wings. There, it was gross, like disgusting. And I called the client and he goes, and then I can hear his friend on the phone, like, why can't she just clean it? And I said, okay, you know what? One, I'm not a maid. I said, two, don't ever disrespect what I do. I said, because when I come into a household, it's common sense to have the kitchen clean if you're having a chef come cook,
Yeah.
right? Girl, he ended up texting me back 2 hours later, like, oh, I'm on my way. I had already left. I said, you forfeited your deposit. I left. The kitchen should have been cleaned, and you don't show up 2 hours later. It's not how that
Mm-mm.
works. And it's like I posted it the other day on Facebook because I was so upset about it, because a lot of people sometimes feel a type of way because I don't only work with high end clientele for one
Okay.
reason. And they all comes from different walks of life, so it's not that they're just Caucasian or whatever.
Yeah.
Because they value the dollar. They understand what it is to sacrifice. They understand what it is to put in no sleep and all those hours and hard work, right? Because they have built an empire. And anyone that knows, an empire does not happen overnight. So, and they understand that when you have a chef, it's a luxury. And it's not a luxury that everybody can afford. And I'm
Yeah.
not putting down any people of color because, like I said, I'm a woman of color. But
Yeah.
in certain circumstances, we have to do better, because we, as whether you are Latino, Hispanic, or African American, or you want to be referred to as Black, we need to do better overall, because the little nuances like this overshadow us as a whole. So if one person does better, it makes us all look better. And when people say to me, well, you don't really, work with your own kind. Well, what is my own kind? My own kind are
Right.
respectful humans who work hard and who value and respect other people's careers, jobs, hustles, and businesses. That's what my kind is. My kind
Yeah.
doesn't show up 2 hours later, leaves a dirty
Yeah.
kitchen, and expects for someone who's not a maid.
I don't know whose kind that would be, to be honest.
Really, it just kind of makes me shake my head, because I work so hard to give the service that we give, as the quality of service that we give, and I already have a struggle because I'm a woman, so it's just like, for me to have for things like that, I'm just like, god, that just made me look bad. But then it didn't, because it's like, you have to respect my business and you have to respect me as a person, you know what I'm saying?
Showing yourself that you value
Right.
yourself.
But then that
And
could lead to a bad review, and that one review can ruin everything. You know what I'm saying?
I hate reviews.
They
Reviews suck.
really do.
It's like they're not even valid sometimes. Like you're just making
They
shit
really
up.
are. I always say that I feel like small businesses should be able to review customers.
You
Yeah.
should. Wow, I have so
Yeah.
many I would like to review.
No, I mean, because you don't want I always say all the time, not all business is good business. Not all money is good money. And sometimes you
Yeah.
really just need to leave it on the table. If you
Yeah.
value yourself, and as a business, especially if you own a business and you're a business owner, and you know what you bring to the table, and you know your worth, the value of what you bring, you should never, ever, ever lower your standards because someone else doesn't get it. You know what I'm saying? Because if you take that money, then you start attracting that kind of demographic of client. And I just think, sometimes, like I said, you just got to leave it on the table.
Yeah.
It'll come back.
Actually, right. And something you said just reminded me, don't lower your standards based off of like what other people think or whatever. So, and I wanted to ask you this question because I get it a lot. I'm sure you get it a lot because you have always so many different projects going on. People are always telling me that I just need to, people who don't even really know what's going on, that I need to just stop and focus on one thing.
No.
I don't want to focus on one thing. just like, oh, like you're never gonna make it to where you want to make it if you are spreading yourself so thin over these different things. And I'm like, how do you know where I want to make
Hi.
it?
Yeah, how do you know where my goals are? People tell me this all the time too. It's like you're all over the place. No, I'm not. What I'm trying to do is like, and I say this all the time, I'm like, people who are rich don't just have one idea. They are not just doing one thing. They're doing multiple things and they
Yeah.
have multiple streams of income and revenue coming in. They may not necessarily showcase all those revenues, but they have
Yeah.
revenues. I think that people tend to forget that real estate, that's an income. When you're doing stock investments, that's income. If you are an influencer and you do YouTube, TikTok, or whatever videos, that's money that's coming in. So I think that people need to slow down? No. What I think is it's about working smart. You know what I'm saying? And I know that people see this week, for instance, I have 3 clients and 2 events in the next 6 days. Is that crazy? Yeah, absolutely. Will I get it done? Yeah. Am I stressing right this second? Absolutely, I am. But when everything is said and done on the day after my last event on February 15th, I will look back and be like, you did that, because,
Yeah.
and
Also, sometimes when that happens, you can look back and be like, I also didn't have that much to stress about. I was just making it more difficult
and
for
I
myself.
honestly think that is definitely a Leo trait because
Yeah.
it's the worst.
We could do a whole episode on just being Leo.
Before every event, it's like I act like I don't know how to cook.
I didn't even laugh, but like that. Before you got on the screen today, I'm like, I don't know how to talk to people. What's happening?
Like legit, it's like I forget like how do you cut vegetables? Like everything just leaves, and then I'm in the kitchen. I'm like, oh, and then I'm like, what were you stressing over? But I feel like it's because I put so much pressure on myself that my expectations for myself super exceed any expectations that people have for me. So when people say, oh my God, that was great. And I'm like, where? Like, I saw, okay, I saw good. But did I see
Yeah.
great? No. But then if everyone else sees it, then whatever. But like, I just like, it goes back to having a hard time seeing what I accomplished myself. Yeah, Leos are difficult.
Speaking of difficult, your nephew,
Yes.
Pablo. So this is another question I wanted to ask you.
P.
Let me just segue into talking about my dog. Now, I have this is going to sound so dumb, but I've always respected, but have a newfound respect for women who are business owners or trying to make something happen, or even just work a 9 to 5 and have kids and also have pets and kids, because just one dog alone, I'm like,
Yeah.
wow.
I have 4.
Way harder than
4. I was just at the vet yesterday because Ty eats his food too fast. So he like exasperated his food and then gave himself some type of pneumonia from eating food too fast. So,
yeah,
oh my God. So I had to take him to the vet yesterday and she's like giving me the bill and I was like,
are you like, no?
is there a discount there?
There's an extra number on this.
I was like, is there a discount? Like, I'll bring you the staff food for lunch or something. Like, can I take you to dinner?
That would be cheaper.
I was like, can we work something out? No, it's crazy because I have 4 and I just got my puppy Harley, who's I love her to pieces, but she's
it's I honestly think like if this is hard for me now, what's going to happen when I have a kid? How am I going to do this? I don't know how to do it. I have some. Like, I know your son is older, but like, I'm sure
it's hard. Like, it really is, and it's crazy because people say like when people say, "Oh, I'm a dog mom," like, "Oh, it's not real. It's not human." Like, bro, first of all, dogs have personalities. Okay, dogs have attitude problems. Like, and they're super disrespectful.
I was gonna say, if you think your kid doesn't listen to you, borrow try and tell my dog what to do, because it's not. It's not going to happen.
But Pablo's so cute.
He
He
knows it.
does. I know he does. Ever since he was a little baby.
Mhm. But we'll have to bring him to Vegas so
Yeah.
they
Does
can.
he get confused between you and your sister? No.
No,
Who's bad cop, good cop?
maybe.
Who's the good mom? Who's the nice mom?
Um, I don't know. I'm the crazy mom. I'm the one that literally I have the vet on speed dial. Like he's breathing too fast. What's going on? Is this normal? Yeah, that's me. That's
Ah,
me.
I did that with Harley when I first got her because, she's a puppy, so they breathe super fast. I was like, oh my God, she's dying. She's not breathing right.
I did that. I
Yeah,
did
I
the same
kept
thing.
texting and calling the foundation. I'm like, you guys gave me a dog that's going to die. And they're like,
Yeah.
ma'am.
No,
And I was like, yeah. They're like, that's normal. I was like, her breathing like this? Like, she doesn't have a heart murmur?
I told my vet that I counted the number of breaths per minute. Per minute. And they were like, it's a puppy. It can't control its breathing. Like, it's fine. Oh my
It's okay. You're not alone. And I have a 17-year-old child, so you're fine.
God. That's
He
good.
always tells me, he's like,
That's
yeah,
good
he
to
tells
hear.
me, he's like, you love the dogs more than me. I'm like, what? No.
Never.
Yeah.
Oh, I did have another question for you too, and it's completely unrelated to anything, but was was Guy Fieri so cool?
He is
Did I say his
yeah,
name
Guy
right?
Fieri. He is seriously the coolest person I have ever met. He is so passionate about what he does. It like literally exudes from him. Like he is just he's really one of the inspirations as to why I did the collective too, because so when he first started, so how he became who he was is kind of funny. One of his best friends dared him to go on a cooking competition because at the
Oh
time
wow.
he had already had his restaurant. So he said, in my own right, I felt like I was good. I was successful. I had my restaurant. I did what I was said that I was going to do. Bought a house, family's happy, wife's happy, whatever. Friend tells him, "Oh, I dare you to," and he was like, "Fuck it, okay." He's like,
Yeah.
and I go on, and he's like, and it was his personality that won over the producers. So he wins this
Okay.
competition. Then I think he said he got like a call, or a couple weeks later, or whatever it was, and that's how it started. It wasn't that he went out to try to kind of get this life because he didn't want it. But then when
Yeah.
it happened and he started doing the cooking show that I was on, Guys Grocery Games, he felt super passionate and strong about it to the point where he literally designed the entire market. He shops. He can tell you everything
Oh
down
wow.
every aisle. He goes through
That's
every video. He hand selects the competitors. Because for him,
oh, I didn't know
yeah,
that.
because for him, he said that when he was on the show, he saw the Hollywood vibe thing and he hated it. And he goes, so I didn't want that for my show. He's like, I wanted to be hands on. So he's very hands on with his stuff and it's pretty cool. So,
Yeah, I do kind of see the resemblance between what he does and then your
yeah,
collective.
he's,
Like if you compare him to other chefs, he's not doing all of these like competitions like I'm the greatest there ever was. He's just like, let me go show all these other businesses and what they're
yeah.
doing.
Yeah,
That's
because he had already started, he was already successful, like he said, and he goes, I feel like because I was put in this position, my purpose is to help other people. Same kind of story.
yeah.
He didn't get any help when he started, so he's super cool though, really laid back, really cool guy.
Cool. Yeah. So I guess unless there's anything else you wanted to talk about, I just wanted to end by asking you kind of like I'm very curious about what's going on with like the supper club and what we can see from you next
Yeah,
and
so the supper club, I'm super excited about that. We should be open this spring. We're shooting for April. I am going to create a menu that is bar food, but on the elevated level, meaning that I want to do as much farm to fork. So I'm going to work with local farmer,
Just started as like a pop-up?
so yeah. Okay. How that came about is my
Yeah.
business partner is actually one of my clients' older cousins. So they were
Okay.
out here one weekend, and I get this text message from Steven, my partner, that says, "Hey, chef, we're in town at the Palms. We really want some pancake and water." Well, him and his cousin love my banana pancakes. I'm leaving
Okay.
a client's house, and I was going to pass the strip, and I said, "Hey, I can't cook, but I can come by and we can just have a drink or whatever. I'll come say hi to everybody." So he's like, "All right, chef, come." So I get over there, and the first thing I did is I opened the fridge, and I'm like, "You guys, there's water." They're like, "What?" They're like, "We've been looking for water this whole time, and we just spent like, yeah, they had spent like $300 on Postmates to go get waters and stuff from 7-Eleven." So I opened the fridge, and I was like, "Wow, you guys are real special." We're sitting there talking, and he's like, "What's up, chef?" And he's like, "You look like you're just like have a lot going on in your head." So I start talking to him, and what originally we were supposed to open a commissary kitchen, a full service commissary kitchen. Because we don't have anything like that here in Vegas, because the commissary kitchens we do have are just really grimy and they're just gross.
I don't even know what that is. Is that like
It's like a shared kitchen, basically, where caterers and private chefs can go and utilize the kitchen to prep and stuff.
Okay.
So we decided to team up, and he was going to help manage me, and we were going to open up this kitchen. So he finds this restaurant. We go and look at it, and I had never wanted to own a restaurant until we walked through the doors of this location. So we walk in, and I look around, and I was like, "Oh my God." And I was like, "This is where I'm supposed to be." I'm like, this is what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to open a restaurant. And he's like, "What?"
Okay.
And I was like, "I'm telling you," like, it was like angels saying to me right when I walked in, right? So as we're leaving, I look up, and on the plaque, it says Donna. She was one of they have like this plaque to the Air Force people that had passed away. And she happened to be one of the people on the plaque that had passed, her name, right? So I look up, and I was like, okay, that's a sign. So we're leaving, and about 20 minutes later, the real estate broker calls and says, "Hey, can we get on a call tomorrow with the property owner? He really wants to talk to Chef Vee." We get on a call the next day. My partner was like, "What's the game plan?" I said, "Nothing. Just listen to the guy. He's going to sing." And I'm like, I want to know why he's been holding on to this property for so long, because it's been there for 6 years, just vacant. So get on the call. He starts talking to me. And as you know, my sous chef best friend was Dalton, a.k.a. Roadhouse. Well, the first thing he says to me, he goes, "When I first walked into this restaurant, I felt like it was a roadhouse." And I said, "What?" And I'm now on the phone, and I'm crying. And so, so I'm like, take myself off mute, take a deep, bold breath. And I tell him the story about Roadhouse. And he says to me, he says, "Chef?" And I said, "Yes." And he goes, "I have been praying for 2 weeks and asking God what I was supposed to do with this property." And he goes, and the answer was very, very loud and clear. It was, "Just wait. Don't sell." So then I tell my wife this, and my wife goes, "But you've been waiting for 6 years. Like, can you ask like what you're waiting on?" Like, can you ask like maybe a date? So he goes, "All right, I'll ask like what I'm waiting for." So he goes, and he says, the next night I ask again, and he goes, and I wake up the next morning, and I look at my wife, and he was like, he's like, just wait, don't sell." And she was like, "Okay, whatever," right? So he says, and 2 weeks later, here you come. He goes, "I called my wife, and I said, I know who I was waiting on. Her name was Chef Vee." Yeah. So since then, this man, his name is Richard Klein. He's doing everything to make sure that I open the doors for business. He's not even charging me rent or anything until we open the doors. So, and he's going above and beyond like his budget that he had set out. So I just met him for the first time on Saturday. So I'm super excited about that. So it's going to be on the north side of Vegas. We're doing a supper club. So we'll have, nightly entertainment. And then I want to get together with the communities because we have a huge parking lot. So we can do a farmer's market on Sundays. And yeah, and just kind of be able to just give back. We really want to do food drives and stuff like that. Like once we have the kitchen open, we want to invite the community over just to feed them and just say, hey, I'm Chef Vee. This is Steven. We're here. So we're super excited. I mean, there's nothing really on the north side of Vegas. I feel like North Vegas has kind of been forgotten about. I'm excited to bring entertainment and just to bring local performers to the north side of Vegas and just to kind of give, North Vegas somewhere to go to. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, people are out there,
We're located right across the street from the Air Force Base. I'm excited.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. You'll be a bunch of them then, right?
Yeah. So
and drink.
before the history, it's actually like a historical landmark in Vegas because it's called the original name is the 25 Club, and it was dedicated to the airmen. I think it's the Massachusetts or something like that, some Air Force flight crew, and they did 25 missions before they were able to. They flew 25 missions. And then, so each time you fly your 25th mission, you come home or something and you don't have to fly anymore or something like that. So it's like some kind of milestone in your career for the Air Force. So that's what they dedicated the club to. So that used to be the hangout for the Air Force. So I'm excited to get back in there and just have, we're, comedy, dancers, singers. I can't wait. So I'm super excited.
It sounds exciting. And I can't wait to see, now that I know the backstory, I love things that have a good, heart story, just to see then where it takes you and like what happens.
Yeah, so I'm excited. Like we're still thinking about the decor and stuff, but I know that I'm going to have a couple of Las Vegas artists come out and do murals on the outside. Yeah. So, I really just want to I want to bring in as much as the community as I can. I am from California. I grew up in the San Fernando Valley, but Vegas made me. So, I just want to make sure that, we give love back to the city, because the city has given me so much love. And I wouldn't be Chef Vee without Vegas. So,
yay. I'll definitely.
Yes, I can't wait. I'll as soon as I know the date, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Promise.
Okay.
Yay. I think my biggest thing, if you're a small business owner or an entrepreneur and you're just starting something, don't seek validation in anybody. Just know that you can do it. If you really put your mind to it and you believe in yourself, there is nothing that you can't accomplish in this lifetime. And my biggest motto in life is plant it, say it, and claim it. And if you live by those three things, then you're able to manifest what's yours. And what's yours can only be valued by you. So I think that's, exactly. and if you have a bad day, I'm not going to lie, there's going to be plenty of bad days. You're going to want to run for the hills 360 days, 365. When people say I'm a boss, like understand that holds a lot of weight, and a lot of responsibility and sacrifice goes with it. But I think once you get to the finish line, it's all well worth it, just to be able to just look back. I've been self-employed now for going on 6 years, and that's a blessing to even be able to say that. And like I said, there's some months are better than others, but you just got to keep on going and just know that there is light at the end of the tunnel.
And I completely agree with you on not needing or seeking validation from anyone, because once I stopped doing that, maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, I don't know. I was just able to take, I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there faster, I think, because I just don't need anyone's validation.
And I think that when you realize that, things start to come into fruition for people because you understand. And I say this all the time, strangers will support quicker and harder than your friends.
Yeah.
Your friends start to support when they see when they start to see the success, right? Like,
Yeah.
and it's sad, because I feel like I try to support, where I can, whether it's reposting or whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I try my best to support where I can, and it's not always reciprocated, but I don't allow it to change who I am, because I'm about support and love anyways. So even if you
Yes.
can't give it to me, it's okay. I'll still give it to you, you know? Because
Yeah.
I think that we have to be reminders in this world that it's okay to love and support one another, and there's no reason to hate on anyone else's success. You know what I'm saying?
And it's not going to hold you back if you're
No,
telling someone else they're doing a good
not at
job.
all. I mean, like,
It's
people,
not,
like my tea friends, like, I tell them about your business all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, I think it's just something, if people are into something, why not connect it? You know what I'm saying? Like, what it takes me a minute, not even a minute, it takes you a few seconds to go to your page, So Wealth Tea, and say, hey, share profile or copy link, and then text it or put it in someone's DM. You know what I'm saying? If people were just forget that it's okay to hold hands, I guess, because,
no, that's a great
yeah.
point.
It's okay to hold hands. It's okay to support one another. It's okay to fix another woman's crown. It's okay to adjust another man's bow tie. It's okay.
Yay! Well, thank you again so much. This was
Yeah.
just I'm excited to edit it. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me on, and I am so proud of you, and I love to witness your
Thank
success,
you.
and I'm here for
I'm
it.
proud of you.
Yes, we'll talk, because I would love to have some of your goodies in our grand opening bags, in our gift bags for our grand
Yeah.
opening. Yeah,
Samples. Yeah.
I would love that.
Cool.
Mwah.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
honey.
Bye.
Bye.